Good evening, fellowship. Thank you so much for joining us today as we do a salute to mama. Now, you guys know mothers are the most celebrated people on the planet, and rightly so. So, we're going to have some fun this evening. I've got some wonderful guests that are going to share some exciting information. We are so grateful to have you here with us, and we look forward to sharing with you. Okay? Salute to mama. What better thing to do than on this Mother's Day weekend? So we have a few guests that are going to be joining us today. We have Jimille Joseph, who is going to be joining us, and she's going to be holding it down for the new mothers in the crew. Hey, Jimille.
Hey.
Okay, and up next we have Theron Brown, and she is going to be joining us with the group, and she's going to be holding it down for the single mothers. Hey, Theron.
Hey.
And bringing it up on the end is Miss Tonya Olson, and she is going to represent the grandmothers. Hey, Tonya.
Hi.
Y'all ladies doing good this Mother's Day weekend?
Oh, yes. Wonderful. Yes.
Are you definitely ready to be treated like the queens that you are?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Sassiness already. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started, okay? And I want to start off with Jimille. Okay? Jimille, you ready to talk to me, sweetie?
Of course.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to tell me your child's name and age. Let's start there.
I have a daughter. Her name's Kaylani, and she just turned 1 March 14th, this past March 14th.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to jump right into it. Jimille, tell me, what was your first thought when you found out that you were with child?
My first thought was I need to take another pregnancy test because this can't be true. And then after I took another one and found out, I was more worried than anything. I wouldn't even say I was scared. I was more worried as far as like telling everybody and, you know, everybody looking at me as like basically like another pregnant, you know, child, even though I was, I was 22 at that time. I'm about to be 24 on the 22nd. So of course I was 22 back then, but I still look like 16, 17, 18. So I was worried about being looked at as another like teen pregnancy or whatever. Just, you know, not doing everything the Christian way.
Okay.
That's something I was really worried about.
Okay. Now tell us, what lessons has motherhood taught you this far? I know you've only been a mom for a short amount of time, but what lessons have you learned thus far?
I guess not only making decisions for myself, I have to think about my daughter now. So I can't be quick to do what I think I need to do. I have to think about her sake first before I think of my own, as far as anything I do, whether it's just going to the store, like, okay, should she come with me? Should she not come with me? It's just every little thing I do, I have to always include her. I can't go much places, especially to family events, without her because I'm not wanted unless she's there. And yeah, she's just my partner in crime. Like, she's my best friend and she can barely talk. Like, but she looks at me as like I'm her best friend, her hero. I could be a bad guy, a comedian. Like, she made me feel funny. Like, she likes everything I do. I just love her so much. Like, I never knew that. They say that, well, my mom always say that you never know true love until you have a child of your own. And I believe that 100% because from the very first moment that they put like her on me after I had her, like I was just bursting into tears and I was like, this is my child. Like, can't nobody tell me what to do with my child. That's how I felt.
Now you say that, Jimille. Can't nobody tell you what to do with your child, but I guarantee you there have been several people.
Yes.
There are several people that probably try to tell you how to raise your child, right?
Yeah. And I have to think of it as like, okay, I gotta listen to him. But then I was like, hold on, wait. This is I'm the mother. Like, I can finally say that. It feels so good to say I'm the mother. Like, she has to do what I say. What I say goes. Mm-hmm. But it just changed my life for the better. Like, when I was in school, that's when I found out I was going to my junior year of college. So before I even found out, I was thinking about giving up on school. Like, my major was physical therapy. So like it was a lot of science. I was struggling so much. I was just struggling. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna pay off these student loans and that's gonna be it because I can't do it. And then I found out I was pregnant and I was still like, okay, well, I definitely gotta quit now. So this is I was like, this is gonna be my excuse. But as time was going by, it was coming up to my fall semester. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, I want my daughter to give up on something just because it's hard. So I kept doing it, pregnant and all, morning sickness. I finished my fall semester out and I had to end my spring semester because I was due in spring. And after I had her, I said, I'm just going to start back next fall. But this COVID kind of messed it up. But I'm still striving to finish this fall.
Fantastic. And don't give up on your dreams because you have even more to work for now. Because you got that beautiful little girl that's watching you and she wants to see what mommy's going to do with herself.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, up next, Miss Theron. How many children do you have and how old are they?
I have two boys, an 18-year-old, a 14-year-old, and I'm a newly Gigi.
Okay, congratulations. Congratulations. So my question for you is, what challenges have you had to overcome as a single mother?
Well, for me, I just recently became a single mother. And so for the past year and a half, 2 years, that struggle is kind of real, going down from 2 incomes to 1 income. The adjustment of everyday life with my children because they're used to getting things, and we had to just cut back on something. We having lean time. Like, hey, we can't get the stuff that we normally get. We can't eat out how we normally eat out. It was a struggle, and I found out, I'm like, I don't know how, because I didn't have to raise them being a single mother from the very beginning. I don't know how, well, I do know how women, I know it's a struggle for single moms to raise a child by themselves, especially boys. Because again, I got 2 boys, and I really feel that there's a struggle with raising the boys too, because they need their father. They want to buff up. They think they think they're starting to smell themselves. Because again, I have an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old, soon to be 15-year-old. But the struggle was really real as far as financially, going from 2 incomes to 1 income and not being able to afford the life that we have been kind of living.
Now, you said something there that is striking a chord with me, especially on today, as we recognize the birthday of Ahmaud Arbery, a young man in Brunswick, Georgia, who, for lack of a better word, died at the hands of a modern day lynching, is the way that I describe it. How does that make you feel as a mother of 2 young Black boys in America today, in the state of Georgia, no less?
It has me concerned because my son they have actually dealt with the police here in Warner Robins. I had my son, he was walking to school, and the police stopped him because they thought, because he had a red jacket on or something. He was in elementary school. This is the youngest. He was walking to elementary school, and he thought that he was a quote unquote suspect or something from a house thing, when he was actually walking to school, and they had grabbed him and they had to actually take him to the school. So I'm concerned about not only for their safety of what people think and how they are. I do live in Houston County, and I know there's a lot of racism that goes around, unseen racism that's going around, that folks they smile in your face, but really they may have their own ideas. And I tell my son to be safe, like he just came in. I make sure that, hey, your iPhones, turn your location. I need your location on at all times. But they're actually seeing their own taste of it. He had another situation where he was at the movie theater, or they were at Sonic's, and he was able to calm down, but I had to tell them, because the officer would speak to him in a certain kind of way. My mother, she actually contacted the police to see if it was the Centerville police or Houston County police with that situation. We also, the situation with the elementary school, we had the police to actually apologize to Jacob for how they had handled him. But it is real out here, and I have to teach them. I hate that they have to know about this at a young age, that they have to really watch their back. They're not necessarily safe like we are as women per se. We're not as safe, but they have to watch their back. I'm really concerned about their safety when they're out and about.
Absolutely, and understandably so. That's not a conversation that we like to have with our children, young males or young females, about how to act when you go in a store. And I find myself telling Carrington, make sure you don't put your hands in your pocket. Don't look suspicious. Things that, maybe other races don't have to have those conversations with their children. But in this day and age, if you don't have those conversations with your children, you may end up just like some of these other parents who are mourning the loss of their children at the hands of these vigilantes in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
Tonya, I want to come over to you. Can you tell us about your family, your kids, and your grandkids? How many kids do you have and how many grandchildren do you have?
I have 2 children. Shaniqua will be 30 in July. I have a son, Delano. He will be 33 in September. So I have 7 grandchildren total with me and my husband. But I have 2 that is here with me. That is Brooklyn, who is 3, and Cameron, who is 5.
So you got your hands full, I'm sure.
Yes, I have them through teleworking, so
Oh, yes. The teleworking experience and homeschooling, that's been fun, right? It takes you back.
No.
Makes you want to have a few more kids, huh?
No.
I understand. I'm right there with you. I understand.
Yes.
So, Tonya, tell me, how does your legacy live through your children based on what you have taught them?
Basically, I taught them, I want them to be able to be productive citizens. Want them to be able to understand that everything that you do in life has a consequence. So my dealing with my children, what I was taught, that my mother always say thank you, I appreciate you, regardless of what someone else is doing, still try the high road of situations. Sometimes it can be hard. You can just go off on someone, but at the same time, still try to have your composure and to just love. And it's hard. It's hard, but I can, what I've been saying to them when they were small, that they have listened to me, because I was wondering, is it sinking into them when I'm talking to them? But when they talk to me and I hear some of the things that I have been saying to them, like, for when you get your own place, your car note is taken care of first. Make sure your bills are taken care of before you go out and start playing with whatever monies that you have left, and some to the side for a rainy day. So he talked to me. I'm like, oh, okay, they really were listening. They really were listening, but there are times where I still have to push it in them again.
Absolutely. That's sage advice. Definitely.
Yes. So even though they're grown, they're out of the house, but they're still my babies. They're still my babies. I'm still going to do for them. Still going to do for them. Yeah. Like I said, we have 7 total. My husband has 3 children, Jeremy, Janelle, and James Jr. So we speak to them also. So big old happy family.
That's fantastic. Sometimes I look at my daughter and I see myself. Not only I think that she looks like me, but she acts a lot like me. And she acts a lot like my mother. And so sometimes it's kind of interesting, because how do you discipline the you out of your child? And they'll say something that will remind them of you, and you want to be mad, but then you want to laugh, but you can't laugh because you don't want them to think that it's a joke. And so I find myself taking a step back, and, I'll call my mom later and say, you won't believe what Carrington said today, or you won't believe what she did today. Yeah. So we find that they are watching us. They are imitating the things that we do, good, bad, and indifferent. And so that's why it's so important for us to be the best role models that we can be for our children. This question goes for everybody, and just jump in when you're ready to answer it. What has motherhood taught you as a person?
Okay, I can say for myself that when I first found out that I was pregnant, I was just like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? You know, my mom is going to be upset. She is going to really be pissed. And I was 20, but still, I was going to school. And I just went on and told her, and I told my grandmother. And it was shocking that, for me, it was shocking because I really thought that she was going to be upset, but she just embraced me with so much love. So the thing was that I knew that, Tonya, there's no more partying. You just gonna have to do what you have to do. Take care of your babies. You know, because I had my daughter, I had my son when I was 20, had my daughter when I was 23, and then I snipped it. But yes, but it taught me a whole lot that it's time for you to grow up. You can't just think about yourself. You have to think about those kids. You know, you have to make sure they're clothed, they're bathed, everything. When they're sick, you have to be there. Yes, there are times when you go to work and you come home, you just want to relax. You can't relax. You have to attend to those babies and just love on them and just continue to tell them, hey, mommy's here. Mommy got you. Mommy got you. And that's what I tell them. Mommy got you. You know,
Absolutely.
and I do the same thing to my grandbabies too. So that was like a over, what you call it, uh, makeover for me. The things that I didn't get the chance to do with my babies, I do with my grandbabies. So
Translation. So you're spoiling them rotten, and everything that your kids got in trouble for, those babies can do, right? Right. Thank you so much. We don't like that. You're not helping us as parents.
But I'm helping. I let them know what's right and what's wrong. They know.
And then send them home hopped up on sugar, right?
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
No.
Theron, what about you? What has motherhood taught you?
Motherhood has taught me is to appreciate my mother. That's one thing motherhood has taught me over the years, and as I got older, you know, with the two boys. Now, my mom was like you, Tonya. She took my children. She spoiled. I'm like, oh, you let them do that, but you ain't let us do that. All this other kind of stuff. But that's the main thing, that I appreciate your mother. Motherhood is not an easy hood to be in. Everybody talking about the ghetto hood. It's not. No, motherhood is the scariest hood that you ever want to be into, because nowadays you got to worry about the world. The world don't love them. The world, all this, and the world's crazy nowadays. So you got to worry about that with your children, and then all the other influences they have in there. I learned to be strong. I had my first son, I think I was 22 or 21, right? My last senior year in college, but I just learned a lot of the lessons of myself. I learned about myself. I learned the strength that I have for myself. I learned how to love somebody else, you know, which is me. So I learned about love, and I also learned about motherhood that you cannot love your children the same. I have an 18-year-old strong-willed child, and then I have my 14-year-old Jacob. That if I look at him, he was straighten up. But my other son, you gotta do a little bit more. And so I'm realizing with motherhood's not the same for everybody. Everybody has different advice, but some stuff won't work for your child just because your mama did it or whoever. Again, I said I have a strong-willed child, ADHD and all that type of child. So there's certain tactics don't work on him that will work on this child. And you just have to love the children where they're at.
Yeah.
You have to love them where they're at and not be. I know about the restriction and everything, but the children are different. So I have to love my oldest one a little different than my youngest. I learned some mistakes that I've had, and the mistakes that I've learned, I'm going to implement them with my grandchild and teach her, because I have a girl versus a son. So those are some of the things I learned.
Okay. And I actually had Carrington when I was 34. So I was considerably older than you all. So I had a totally different set of challenges. Already in my profession, working, busy, traveling, trying to figure out how to juggle. And I think that's something all of us deal with as a mother. How do you juggle being that full-time mom, being the best that you can be for your children, for your spouse, for your family, taking care of your career, handling your business, and then at the end of the day, what's left for you? So how do you all find time to do something for yourself? Or do you find time to do something for yourself? Jimille?
Well, when it comes to that, I thank God for grandma and auntie because I know, and it's for my boyfriend's mom too, because we're close as well. So I know if I need some time or like I want to spend some time with my boyfriend, go to movies, or well, not no more, but when used to like wanting to spend some time together or whatever, I just call them up, and I don't make it a habit. I never try to make it a habit because I never want anybody to feel like, well, who's really raising your baby? Like, I will raise my daughter. It's just always having just a little relaxed time. So I always call my sister, hey, you remember I did this for you, girl? I just need a quick favor, just an hour. Just go ahead and just watch it for me. And they have no problem doing it because my daughter, she's not bad. She doesn't cry a lot, and she's very entertaining. So they find joy in doing it. So it's big ups to the TTs and the Mimis and the Nanas and all that.
It definitely takes a village.
Yeah.
Theron?
Yes.
What do you do for how do you find time for yourself?
I'm like Jimille. I've been fortunate with my children since birth. Number one, I always say boys belong with their dads. So because I have boys versus girls, they went with their dad, or they went with my grandma. They went with my mom. And because my in-laws at that time were young, they went with them. Now that I'm older, and they're older, I just tell them I need my me time because they're older now. So they're don't really want to be up on the mama like that now. So now I have that liberty of starting to be an empty nester. So I just tell them I need my me time. Hey, because they have their time. My son like, hey, I need my me time too. Well, like, you have your time. But I thank God for my mom. She would get them sometimes now if I can't, because I'm having my time to myself. She'll take the children where they need to go and pick them up. So I will do it, but I won't be interrupted with my time.
Mm-hmm.
Tonya?
Well, for me, I'm an empty nester, but I have my grandchildren throughout the week while my daughter's at school, so that when Friday comes, whoop, they out the door, they're going home, and they'll come back, Sunday night. But I make time for myself because they're in the bed between 8 and 8:30. So after 8:30, it's all Tanya and hubby.
And hubby, right. Well, I can definitely say I am very thankful for my village. You guys see the Three Musketeers. It's me and my mom and Carrington all the time. And we get that. Diva 1, Diva 2, and Diva 3. Yes. That was a name that was coined by Miss Libby Rhodes, and I love it. I really do. But my child has been so fortunate to have amazing grandparents that will step in whenever we need them, and just be there for Carrington, to pour into her, to love into her. And along those lines, my next question for you is, what lessons have you learned from your own mother that you are teaching or have taught to your children?
I know for me, my mother taught me to pay attention. Always observe your children. And that's one thing I have learned. And she taught me to try to stay patient. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard. She just taught me so much just to continue to love regardless of the fact they did something wrong or whatever. They steal your babies. And I just love that woman for that. I mean, that's my road dog, my shopping dog right there, and she just taught me everything and appreciate her totally. I mean, that's my chick right there.
I love it. I love it.
That's
Jimille?
legit.
Well, my mom always taught me that at the end of the day, no matter who I'm with or anybody else, it's always going to be me and Kaylani. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens, it's always going to be me and Kaylani. So to always not rely on other people, always have my own for me and my child. So I just want to always be able to provide for her and not need handouts. It's always good to ask for help every time, but like I'm very hard-headed and I'm very stubborn. So it takes a lot for me to ask for something from anybody, even my own mom. Like I don't like to ask for things, especially from my mom, because she's provided for me my whole life. So now it's my turn to provide for myself. So I just want to get to the point where my daughter nor me would not need or want for anything. I will always be there for her. So
Awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Theron?
Number one, Jimille, I love that name. That is my granddaughter's name. Her name is Kaylani.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
The thing that my mom has taught me, one, is stability. I've seen in my adulthood and having other children around me that some parents are not stable. As they go from house to house, move 5, 6 places in 1 year. My mom has taught me stability. She's been at her one job for 30 plus years, and I've been at my job too for 14 years, and I've been at my previous home for 10 years. The same number. So stability. My mom has really taught me stability, and that's what I'm teaching my son. My oldest son, he sees that now because dealing with the mother of his child, seeing her family, he has really learned about stability because he noticed that we move all over the place. You got a stable home, everything's stable, and everything is set, and so that's what I'm teaching my children about: stability, responsibility as well. Having your own. Again, I have boys, so they have to be able to be on their own. They're gonna be somebody's father. They're gonna be somebody's husband, and so those are the things that I have that I got from mom that I try to teach my children.
I would say for myself, my mom taught me that there really isn't anything that I can't do. She really did make me feel like I could move mountains. But the most important thing was she helped me recognize that nothing was going to be handed to me. And I had to work very hard in life. She was like, if you want to make it, if you want anything in life, you are going to have to work for it because there are no free lunches. And so I learned that early on, and I tried to instill that in Carrington now. My mom was always there to help me still today whenever I need her, but she instilled that don't look for someone to always be there for you. It's great if someone is there to help you out, but you can't go through life expecting that somebody is going to be there to always make it a way for you. And I will also say something that I am so fortunate that I learned from my mother was not to be afraid. Just tackle things. Don't live life in fear. Don't be afraid to try something new or to step outside the box because you're not sure how other people are going to look at you based on this decision that you made, or you're not sure what people are going to say. So I wasn't one of those people that had to constantly run to her. Well, what do you think I should do about this? What do you think I should do about that? Because she taught me how to think for myself. And sure, I would say, hey, I've decided that I want to do this, or, I've narrowed things down to this and this. What do you think about my decision? And ultimately it's your choice. Have you weighed the pros and cons? One of the first questions that she asked me, though, is, did you pray about it? Because sometimes we want things that may not be what God wants for us. And we want things right now, and that may not be in God's time frame. So those are some of the valuable lessons that I learned from my mother. Now we're talking about mothers and everything is peachy keen, and we are great mothers and we're doing it, we're killing it, right? But the reality is that sometimes in motherhood we make mistakes.
Yes.
And we do things that, we're kind of like, man, I probably could have handled that differently. Maybe I shouldn't have snapped at Carrington, when I was on that work call today and she was asking, could she have some juice? As a mother, I want each one of you to share with us, what are some things that you wish that you would have done differently on this path of motherhood? Tonya, we'll start with you.
Okay. For me, I wish that I would have listened more to my mother and basically to myself. You know, I've always listened to other people, you know, but for me, it's just me to stand up as a woman and say, no, I'm not going to have that. No, I'm not going to take that. And for a while, you know, I just felt not so sure of myself as a woman and as a mother at one point. But when I came back to Christ back in 1997, and I said no, because I fell off the Noah's Ark and I got myself back on the Noah's Ark.
Okay.
And back in 1997, that's when I gave my life back to Christ. And I said, you know what, from this day forward, I'm only seeking you.
Wow.
And my children will be seeking you along with me. So my thing is that it's hard being a mother. It's a job. I mean, just because your kids go on their own or whatever, but they still your children, you will still have to. I still discipline mine. Not yes, I still discipline mine. I'm gonna tell you if you wrong or whatever. I'm gonna put it to you, but I have a tendency to tell it real quick. Like my mother used to say, "Get it while it's hot."
Mhm.
So I have toned that down, and I just keep, you know, asking the Lord, Lord, what should I do right now?
Right.
I have to repent to Him because there are times when I just flew off that handle, said some things. Then you know I have to go back and say, hey, I'm sorry. The message still stands, but I just didn't. I shouldn't have never used that tone with you.
Sure.
Mm.
Sure.
It was all about the tone.
Okay. All right. Theron, what about you?
My lessons I've learned is when raising boys that I need to step back. Let the father do what he needs to do. Because I don't have any brothers. We have any uncles. So the way sometimes that he was talking to my sons, I kind of would interject. And I found that with my oldest, that was not the right thing to do. That was absolutely not the right thing to do. And now I don't do that with my youngest son. Also, for me, raising a strong willed child, I should have been more tougher than what I was because he was a boy. I was tough, and the dad was like tough, but I should have been more tougher because of and not letting nothing slide. Because some stuff I let slide, but I've learned now: do not let anything slide, especially when I get teenagers. That's the main lesson I've learned that I wish I can go back over and do. And also learn to pay attention to the signs for your children. Pay attention when they're normally up and when they're down. Just pay attention, because I had a situation with my son that I had to, you know, when folks die or family loved ones die, just pay attention to the children and their emotions. Their emotions they count. They matter.
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely. Jimille, anything you would do differently as a mother?
Within this short time I've been one, I guess the one thing I would do different, be more patient, because I had to realize that as my child was getting older, even when like her newborn days or whatever, you know, they crying all the time, they go to sleep and they're ready to, not when you are. So I had to learn to, okay, it's not about you, it's not about your sleep. This is about so I used to always just look at her like, so you don't care about me, you don't care about sleeping, like you don't care. And I had to realize to be patient. I had to realize don't do things when I'm ready to. You know, it's not all about my timing and everything. It's all about her. So yeah, that's really all I could really get from it, and to not let my relationship with certain people or family members dictate her relationship with them. So not try to intervene with people trying to get a relationship with my granddaughter. I mean with my daughter, just if they're trying to get a relationship with her. So don't let my feelings or affection towards somebody dictate, their relationship with her.
Tomieka, I wanted to say one more thing real quick.
Hold on one second there, because I can't let this one go. I have to say this, Jimille, I am so proud of what you just said, because I have clients that have not evolved to the level that you are at right now. And so many issues would be so much easier dealt with in family law if the parents took the attitude that you just spoke of not getting in the way of that relationship, because you recognize what's important in the end is the child. And it's not about you. And so I commend you for recognizing that after a year of motherhood. I am extremely proud of you. I really am. I'm sorry, Theron, go ahead.
That's okay. Just go piggyback on what Tonya was saying about the tone, but I had to realize that these children, this is the first, like they only been on earth 10 or 14 years or whatever. And so they might not know. We think they're supposed to know. That goes with the tone.
Right.
You ain't know that? Like you're supposed to do that. Like, and I had to put back on my tone too, Tonya. With my son Jacob, he's more sensitive. My other son, no. But my youngest son, I had to be more sensitive with the tone, because I'm like, I forget, he's only 14. So he might not know. He might not know. And that goes with Jimille being more patient, because you have to tell these children, we don't want to over and over. And our parents get mad. If I gotta tell you one more time, I should have tell you 2 times. Maybe you do, because the child may not process it right. We're not even thinking about that. They may take a minute. It take me a minute to process some things. So be patient and realizing they're only 12. They're only 7. They're only 8. They ain't been here long enough to know more than what I know.
Right.
Okay, I love it. And the flip side of that, Tonya, help me with this. At what point do you start to pull back some of your mothering? You have adult children. Sometimes parents of adult children, I would imagine, you don't want to see them mess up. You don't want to see them hurt. You don't want to see them fall into some of the pitfalls that maybe you fell into. But at what point do you kind of pull back that mothering of those adult children and kind of force them to grow up and live with some of the decisions that they've made?
Ooh.
That's a good one, right?
Yes, that is one, because that was a hard one. That was a hard one, especially when it comes to my son. I pull back because he's a boy, and I know, he's a man, but he was just one of those ones that's just, how can I say it? He was just doing his own thing. But when it came to my daughter Shaniqua, it's just that I wanted to make sure that she gets it. You being a mom to Cameron and Brooklyn, and I just didn't want her to feel as if that she can't do anything, that she could just accept anything. And I always tell her my stories, but I just, like I told her, I'm just telling you my story, what I went through, because I don't want you to go through that. But sometimes they have to fall in order for them to get it and to rise above it. And then they know what they need to do. But I'm going to tell you, it was hard to pull back. My husband said, Tom, you need to pull back a little bit. Just let them go ahead and do whatever. I'm like, but that's my babies. I mean, but they will never learn if I keep trying to hold on to them. Mm-hmm. So I have, pulled back a little.
Okay. I find myself coaching. I sometimes find myself coaching when I'm in sessions with my clients and their parents, because I can see situations where the parents are holding on too tight and not allowing the kids the room that they need to grow. And you hit the nail on the head. Sometimes you got to kind of let them mess up in order for them to learn the lesson, so that they can move on past that.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to tell an embarrassing story to give you all an opportunity to think about a quick story, an embarrassing story as a mother, okay? And I can't believe I'm telling this. I know my mom's watching and she's going to laugh. But so I was a first-time mom, and I'm in the hospital, and I look at Miss Carrington, and I'm so emotional, and, you know, I'm still drugged up, and I'm like, she's beautiful, but something's wrong. And I just started crying. And my mom said, what's wrong? And I said, she doesn't have any eyebrows. I'm going to have to draw eyebrows on her for her life. Okay, so nobody told me that babies could be born and her eyebrows hadn't filled in yet. And I was serious, like I was crying because my baby didn't have eyebrows. And I thought she wasn't ever going to have eyebrows. So that's my embarrassing story. Do you have an embarrassing story that you have that you would like to share about your kid?
Well, I do. I have one. My son, Jacob, he was in either kindergarten or first grade. And at that time, I think his dad was sick or something. And so we were at the hospital, and I got a phone call from the teacher. And she was like, Jacob had gotten in trouble because he said a bad word. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, well, we're going through the alphabet, and we're asking, you know, what letter begins with, but we'll get to that part. What letter begins with this and that? She said, well, A. And she said, what's the word for A? And he said, A-double-S. I'm like, at least he knows. I'm like, I don't know where he's in the kindergarten or first grade, so he can spell or whatever, but I didn't know. And that was a little kind of embarrassing. I'm like, well, at least I'm thinking to myself, well, at least you know, his letters and stuff. I don't know if I just spelling it up. I know he knows that it stands for that.
Okay. Jimille, you have any?
I'm trying to think.
Me too.
Can I share a pregnancy one?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So it was in the beginning of my pregnancy. It's my first trimester. It was during the summer. So before I started back college, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at Golden Corral and Wendy's. So I was already tired. So I came into Golden Corral, and like I was so emotional. Like I was so sensitive, I couldn't stand it. So like these people were going by. I was taking their order. Like, okay, 2 of them, they kept going by. And so one of my coworkers, she came up to me. She was like, "You all right? She always make sure I had a pee break because I had to pee a lot. So she was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I just started getting emotional. And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm just so hungry. I just don't know what to do." And she was like, "Go eat. Like you're in a buffet. Just grab your plate. Just tell me." And I was like, "I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. I just want Fruity Pebbles. I just want some cereal right now. I really just want some." And I'm just getting emotional. And I'm laughing while I'm crying because I can't believe I'm crying, but I'm seriously wanting some cereal. So they didn't know what to do with me. My manager, he thinking something's wrong. He's like, "Do you need to take the rest of the day off?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm just hungry. I just need some food in my system." Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Oh, I love it.
That's why Golden Corral shut down. Too much
drama.
Stuff going on.
Thanks, Jimille. We appreciate it. Tonya, did you come up with an embarrassing story yet?
No, but
it's okay if you don't have one. We get it.
When I was pregnant, I was mean and evil.
You were mean, and not you, Tonya.
Yes, I was. My mother
I find that hard to believe.
Yes, I was. My mother could tell you I jumped from the top of the staircase all the way down to the floor, chasing after my baby daddy.
Oh, okay.
With the house shoe. Yeah. Oh, that's the only thing I was mean and evil when I was pregnant. I was.
Well, I'm so glad you have been delivered.
Yes.
Because you are just as sweet as you want to be. Okay, so fun question. Okay, you can answer this about yourself or about your mother. If you had to select a mother TV character to describe your mothering style or your mother's mothering style, who would it be? And I'll start. To describe myself, I would say Claire Huxtable. Hands down, no question to it. That's my mothering style. So who's next? Who wants to say who they are, who their mother was?
Okay, for me, I would say my mother, she was Claire.
She was Claire Huxtable too?
Yes, she was no joke. No joke. 12th grade, I think it was, 12th grade, someone told me, oh, your mother's coming around the corner. I said, no, she's not. There she was coming around the corner. She do a pop at high school with her uniform on. Yes. Yes.
The queen of the pop-up. I love it. I love it.
Yes, a pop-up.
Jimille, what about you?
My mom would be the mom from Everybody Hates Chris, Rochelle, because Rochelle, she did always provide what they needed and wanted. Even if they didn't get what they wanted, they always had what they need. And she always had this look that made them straighten up. And my mom always had this look that it still scares me till this day. And she knows how to whip out a belt when she has to and when she needed to. So yeah, okay. That was my mom.
Okay. I can totally see that. I definitely see that.
I'm glad somebody agrees, so I won't get later.
Yeah, if she has anything to say about it, tell her to call me, because that she is Rochelle. That's her. I love it. I love it. Theron?
My mom would be like different Lynn Whitfield characters. My mom's a little bougie. And so she's like, oh, Theron, here, just right. No, Theron, don't wear that wig, Theron. Okay, well, Theron, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? Or when we go somewhere, oh, you gotta make sure y'all prim and proper. Oh, Theron, she went to the best schools and this and that. That's my mama right there. She, she likes to, she don't want to go in the hood. That's just my mama's Lynn Whitfield characters. That is her all the way, always dressed in, making sure that we're dressed in the little neat little. Some folks now would call it the white clothes. We had like the little dresses, the little Rothschild coats, making sure we're prim and proper all the time. That's her.
Okay. So outside of your own mother, I would say, who are some mothers, either in our community, in our church, that you take a lot of lead from, that you get sound counsel from, that you maybe see them from afar and you say, wow, I like what she's doing. I like how she's handling her family. I will say that I've always looked up to Sister Reed. She has always been the gold model. Mother Reed, she will tell it to you like it is, in love, but she's going to tell you the truth. And I have so much respect for her for that. She can be real, but when she leaves, you've been told, okay, you've been checked. If you've been checked by Mother Reed, if you've been around fellowship anytime, if you were out of line, you probably got a nice little check talk from Sister Reed in love. And she's not going to hold a grudge. She's going to keep it pushing, but she's going to tell you. She taught us how to take care of your family, how to love and honor your husband, how to be a godly woman. Those are some of the lessons that I've taken from her. So those of the others of you, who have you seen to emulate yourself after in our community?
Well, I can say Miss Spies.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, that woman right there.
Yeah.
I just love her. I mean, she just, yes, I want to be her so bad. But I love her. She's the one who talked to me about, making sure you take care of your husband.
Okay. Now, Miss Gladine, if she don't tell you nothing else, she is going to teach you how to take care of your husband.
Oh, yeah.
Catch her on a marriage retreat. That's a lot of fun. That's all I'm going to say. Miss Gladine has a lot of stories for you.
That's my girl right there. When I see her, I just light up. I mean, she is just one of those women that I truly, truly love.
Absolutely.
That's my chick right there.
What about you, Theron?
There's a lady that I was working with, and her name is Latanya Smith. She would put me in my place because she was like, at one time, she's like, you said that to your husband in that tone? I'm like, well, I talk to everybody like this. She's like, oh no. She's like, oh no, and you said that? I'm like, well, so she put me in my place. I think I'm thinking I'm talking right and doing right because that's just I'm being me. So why can't I be me when I'm? But yeah. Also on a side note, to make my mom just said I was right. That's her.
Okay, I love it. Well, see, you had her pegged right. That's good. That's good. Jimille?
I would say Miss Spies also because when my grandma was living, Eunice, when she was living, her and Miss Spies, they were best friends. So if I always saw my grandma, I always saw Miss Spies, and she reminds me so much of my grandma, and I just love her to death. And even when I don't see her a lot of times, when I do see her, it's just like I just saw her yesterday, and she's always giving me a big hug, telling me how much she loves me, and she always smells so good. Oh my goodness, I could hug her all day. I could just smell her all day. And also Mama Shirley Gilbert. I love her.
Yes.
She's so anointed, and
Ooh.
she'll just make you feel so good, even on your worst days. Like she could just pray for me. She could just say amen, and I'll just feel so blessed. Like she's just so anointed. I love her as well. And of course, Mama Reed. Everybody loves her.
Yes. We are definitely fortunate at Fellowship to have such a strong group of mothers there to teach us and to learn from, that will correct you in love, but give you really good, sound, godly advice. Not what the world is going to tell you to do.
Right.
The world is telling you, girl, you better leave that man. I wouldn't tolerate this. I wouldn't do this or that. You know, they're going to take you to the word, and they're going to help you understand some of the things that you're going through and how you should handle it. Jimille, I want to ask you this. As a new mom, what piece of advice would you give to another new mom?
I guess what I said before, be patient and always put your child first. Always put their needs and wants before your own. Don't be selfish. Don't ever be selfish. It's just always all about your child, especially with the first year. It is definitely all about your child because they can't tend for their own. You can't just leave them somewhere without them moving. So it's always just be very attentive. Like Kaylani has gotten my attention span so much better. Like there could be a whole circus going on beside me and I could still just pay attention to her because my attention used to be just always everywhere. Now I'm just so focused on her. It's just crazy. So just always be attentive, patient, and always put your child first.
Do you all have any advice for a new mother?
I'm with her. Pay attention to your child. Ask for help. You know, first time mother can be overwhelming. Even because we get arguing at a Kalani. We get her and she be up at night. I'm like, honey, you need it's 3 o'clock in the morning, baby. We sleep around here. So I can imagine what, first time, now I'm going back to the newborn stage. I can imagine, the first time moms and how they feel. Always ask for help if you need it. Because we want you to live. Postpartum is real. And so, ask for the help. You can't get overwhelmed because you're crying. She's crying. You're frustrated because you don't know why she's crying. You done changed. You done all of that. So just ask for the help that you need as a first-time mom. And then 2, also listen. God's going to give you the intuition if you feel something wrong with your child. You're the advocate for your child when you go to that doctor. Don't let that doctor tell you anything else. If you feel that you need this certain test done, you be adamant. You are your child's advocate. So you be adamant for your child. And I saw that with my sister. She's a first-time mom. She said that she felt that Carrington had some kind of thing. I'm like, she ain't coughing. She ain't got no fever. Well, we took her to the doctor, and guess what? She had pneumonia.
Oh wow!
We listened. Even though she felt fine. She was up and alive and moving around. She felt that like her cough at night was something was wrong. Her cough at night was. So always listen to what God put within you for your child. Always, no matter what anybody else says.
And to tag on to that. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying I'm glad that she said that because I had to learn like a doctor can't tell you about your child.
Right.
A doctor can't tell you about your child. I've had so many doctors try to tell me like what's going on with my daughter, and I'm like, I'm with her 24/7. I know what's going on. You can't tell me within these 5 minutes you see her, check up on her, what's going on. So I had to learn that too. And don't let them doctors wake you up to feed your baby. Your baby is gonna be hungry. She will let you know.
That's right.
Cry when she is hungry.
That's right.
Them doctors will wake you up to feed that child.
I love it. And to piggyback on that, just the protector in me, be careful who you have around your children. Be careful who you leave your children with. You see so many stories of, you know, mom had to go to work, so she left the baby with a boyfriend. She left the baby with, you know, a cousin or whoever. I understand you have responsibilities. You got to get to work. But at the end of the day, it's got to be about your kids. So you want to make sure that you're doing background checks. If you're dating and you're bringing people around your kids and into your home, you need to know something about these people. You can't just let every man into your house, into your space, because we have to protect our children. If we are not there to protect our kids, then who will protect them?
Correct.
Tonya, what advice do you have for a new mother?
The first thing I would say that, you know, being a new mother is very overwhelming. It is overwhelming. It's a lot to take in. But once you have that village, you need that village. I mean, even if it's just for someone just to talk to, or for them to just give you a hug. Sometimes a hug will go a long way. Just to let you even if you have to cry, just cry it out. I mean, you know, don't leave it inside, because at the end of the day, you're going to pour that frustration off to that child. And people keep thinking that these kids don't feel your energy. Yes, they do. They feel your energy. They do. They remember. I remember stuff back when I was 3 years old. And I was just telling my mother that, 2 weeks ago, she was like, you remember that? I'm like, yep. So, you know, just don't let it be so overwhelming, because it can. You gotta talk it out. You have to talk. You have to talk, especially for that precious little girl.
Yeah. She is beautiful.
She is a beautiful little girl. She really
I will also say, have fun with your kids. Sometimes we get so caught up, and I just talked about this on my social media earlier this week. We are stressed out by this pandemic. Life has been turned upside down for us. You know, most of us are working from home. Some of us have been laid off. We are dealing with the pressures of the world, and we're trying to keep it all together. We're trying to keep our family together. We're trying to make decisions, doing everything that we know to do. And that may make us shorter with our children than what maybe we normally have been. But we have to remember that this is scary for them too. That they are dealing with a new normal. They have been taken out of school, taken away from their friends. They're stuck at home with their mean parents who make them do all their work and won't allow them to have their devices until they get that work done. So we need to understand that we have to take a break, and we have to just have fun with our kids. Make home be a place where your kids want to be. So that they don't feel the need to be out in the street. I want to be the fun house, because I'm that mom that doesn't allow sleep. My baby can't go to a sleepover. She's not spending the night with anybody. Like I don't play that. So I have to make up for that by making my house the fun house. Now you can have friends over, we can hang out here, but you want it to be a place where the kids can be proud of, and they can say, yeah, that's my mom. You know, she's pretty cool. She's strict, but you know, she's pretty cool. Ladies, I see we are coming up on our time, so I'm going to give you the last word. If there's anything that you would like to say, any parting message that you would like to share on this beautiful Mother's Day weekend, now is your time. We're going to start with Miss Theron.
I want to shout out my mama. I know she's watching. Hey, Miss Shirley Maddox, I know you're watching. I want to say I appreciate my mother more than ever now. And if you have your mother, guys, appreciate her. And the ones that don't, or even if you're having a rough time with your mother, it will work out. There's one point in time, my mother, we didn't see each other for 6 months. We talked quick, but we didn't see each other for 6 months. And our relationship has gotten so much better in the past 3 years than has ever been. And so anybody that's like, well, these folks always talking about their mother and this and that. If you are having or going through anything with your mother, just continue to pray. and just continue to give it to God. Guess what? God will redeem the time, and God can restore that relationship with your mother.
Absolutely. Tonya?
I just want to say happy Mother's Day to my mom, that chick. Ooh, that's my girl. And I want to say happy Mother's Day to my daughter, and especially to all the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women in fellowship, the baddest in Middle Georgia.
Woo, 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 woo.
Happy Mother's Day. All of you
Absolutely.
guys. I love you guys and miss you guys. I can't wait till we go back up there and just rocking that ship.
Yes.
Rocking that ship.
I love it. Jimille?
Okay, first, well, it was a pleasure talking to y'all. Y'all are such a joy. We need to do this more often.
We should do it. Anytime
Yeah.
you're ready, sweetie. Let's go.
This was
Yeah.
nice. Happy Mother's Day to you all first. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Tracy Joseph. Hey, mama. Happy Mother's Day to all the fellowship women and ladies out there. First time moms. Happy Mother's Day to you. You all stay safe. It's still a virus going on out there. Even though things are opening up, please just stay safe.
Yeah.
Spend time with your loved ones. And yeah, that's about it. I love everybody.
Okay. Oh, we love you too. And I'm so proud of you.
Love you,
Just
girl.
we've watched you grow up at the ship, and just to see
Yes.
that the woman that you have become, I just want you to know that I really am proud of you. And if there's ever anything that I can do for you, don't hesitate to call me, okay? Because you're my girl now, whether you like it or not.
That's
Yes,
right.
ma'am. I know you got some hand-me-downs for my daughter, though.
You should have caught me about 10 years ago. You would have been set for the next 20 years, I'm sure.
Right.
So I want to say quickly, I want to say happy Mother's Day to my mother-in-law, Peggy Daniel, to my stepmother, Vicki Richard, and of course to my BFF, my number one, my ace, my mother, my rock.
Yes.
I am ready for this pandemic to be over so that I can hug her and we can get back to shopping and traveling and all the wonderful things that we do. I miss that time with my mom, and I don't take it for granted. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you so much for everything that you do for me and my family. I just would not be the woman that I am today without you. Thank you to the mothers of our church, Lady Levine, Mother Reed. We are so proud of you. You're watching you. You all are excellent, godly examples of what we strive to be in our lives.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, ladies. This has been a pleasure. I've never done something like this before, but it has been so much fun. I'm with Jimille. I want to do this again. You guys enjoy your Mother's Day. Be treated like the queens that you are. Relax. Take some time for you. And can't wait to see all of you again. Until next time, this is the ship. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh.